Hi guys, what's up? It's Julia and welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Okay, welcome to episode 1 of a new series on my channel called Julia's Journal. I could not be more excited about this. This has been an idea I've had for months. Literally, I was in the parking lot of Sweet Green and all of a sudden the name came to me and the whole concept of what I want this to be. I have never embarked on my own creative project that felt more right and exactly what I am supposed to be sharing. I know that sounds so dramatic, but this whole series is gonna be very passionate and dramatic. As you guys already know, I've been on this quest of authenticity for so long. I've been trying to figure out how I can really share what that means. While I do share vlogs and, you know, share my life on social media and whatnot, it's kind of missing the biggest part of what my life is right now, which are these really, really deep concepts that I'm thinking about 24/7. Like, not even just when I'm awake. When I am sleeping, I'm having these epiphanies. The Julia's Journal series is an opportunity for me to just brain dump everything that I have been journaling about. I've talked about it on a live before, but a huge goal of mine that I absolutely will do one day is I want to design my own gratitude manifesting journals. I just am so excited for when that happens, so this is a perfect kind of segue into that. I want you guys to feel really included, so I would love for you to comment down below, or if you feel that what you want to share is too personal, you can just DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is @thejuliamarley. But I want you to share with me what's been going on with you and thoughts that you've been thinking about. And at the end of these videos, I could talk about a few things that you guys have either shared in the comments or DM'd me, and it could totally be anonymous if you're more comfortable that way. I would just love to include you guys and include your thoughts. We're just all on this journey of growing and going through life and discovering who we are together. I would love to make a community where we all feel really safe and understood. I did the Artist's Way program. I actually recently finished it. The Artist's Way is a 12-week creative course. It helps you discover blocks that you have within yourself. It really is so powerful, and I did that with a group of other artists led by my mentor. I have a binder, I'm looking at it right now, I have a binder full of all of my epiphanies and breakthroughs, and basically this whole past year I've incorporated some life-changing things that I do into my daily routine, which I so highly recommend. Voice memo brain dumps, stream of consciousness writing, and stream of consciousness thinking. Every time that I just start thinking to myself, and this usually happens when I'm in the car and I'm driving, or I'm just like, always when I'm by myself, I'll turn on my voice memos and I just start talking. I know this kind of sounds like, okay, but when I tell you that when I just start talking and I let my thoughts just wander, I will end up connecting dots and recognizing either blocks in my life or why I'm feeling a certain way about something or whatever. I literally was doing this last night and I was just talking out, you know, something I've been thinking about, and I ended up saying something and I was like, oh my god, I cannot believe that just came out of my mouth. Like, that's exactly the missing piece in this puzzle. So I know it's very vague, but I very, very, very highly recommend, just if you ever are just feeling anything, like literally just start talking to your voice memos, and you get so much more comfortable as you do it. Every situation that I'm in, whether it's a dance class or I go to an event or any life experience, I'm always thinking about the lesson to learn from that. Or who is that? It's Kira, that's funny. Literally everything in my life, I'm always thinking, what is the universe trying to tell me? What can I learn from this? I'm constantly writing and reflecting on situations I'm in or lessons that I'm trying to learn. In my stream of consciousness writing, yes, I'm writing out these things to then share with my mentor, but it's not for anybody to read. It's just to get my thoughts out, and I can't express enough how much this has positively impacted my mental health and my overall life. So I do the voice memo, brain dumps, stream of consciousness writing, and then I guess the stream of consciousness thinking is in the voice memo, brain dumps. Those 3 things are very, very helpful if you also have a mind that does not stop and is constantly just like planning and dreaming and thinking and having epiphanies and having ideas and having things that like crazy. So the first thing I have in my journal, I'm so happy, is showing up is uncomfortable. I don't even know where to start with that. But even me sitting here, making this video, sharing what's on my heart, I am extremely uncomfortable because it is extremely vulnerable. I've just been thinking so much lately about perspective. The way that you view somebody or the way that I view somebody. See, okay, I told you this video is just gonna be my thoughts wandering. Nobody else can feel the discomfort that you sit in when you're following your dreams and when you're trying to better yourself as a person. Showing up to an audition is uncomfortable. Doing anything in life where you're pushing yourself and you're taking a step towards what you want is uncomfortable. And the person next to you is most likely looking at you and going, oh my gosh, they're so inspiring, that's so cool, and they don't feel your discomfort. Two people that I am very, very, very deeply impacted by right now are Joshua Bassett and Dove Cameron. I just love that they're both actors and they're also advocates for mental health and all the other things that they do. They're both obviously such deep feeling humans, which is so beautiful. They are sharing so vulnerably. I get to sit here and listen to both of their interviews and read what they write and just witness their art, and I just feel so seen and heard and understood and inspired. I'm not sitting in their discomfort. The way that I view them, I'm like, wow, they're both incredible actors who are making this impact, who are sharing their truth, who are doing all these incredible things. And then I start to compare myself to my perspective of what their life looks like, when in reality, I can't fathom what their life is like because I am not them. Okay, this ties into another point. You as an outsider of anybody else, you are only witnessing the benefits, if that makes sense. Like the benefits of being impacted by them, the benefits of them sharing their art, but you're not witnessing the discomfort, all of the other feelings that go on inside of them. So much of what we do as artists is so uncomfortable, and I'm reading this incredible book. It's called Ask and It Is Given. I'm gonna be talking about this book a lot because I don't have the words to describe how much this book is changing my life, and I will say this has changed my life. This has changed my life a lot. I know it sounds very dramatic, but truly this book is absolutely mind-blowing. I read in the book recently that you don't have thoughts, you don't have dreams, you don't have visions that you also aren't able to achieve, and it's literally all about just getting out of your own way enough to then achieve them or to then do it. I know so deeply who I want to be and the impact that I know I can make in all of these things. It is so uncomfortable to show up to that because you have to just like break down the doors and do things that your heart is telling you to do, and maybe other people around you are like, okay, you know? And it's so uncomfortable. We live in a constant state of discomfort, but what I'm learning is that that is comfort. If I go to sleep at night and I'm laying in bed knowing that I can be doing so much more than what I'm doing, I am like laying in bed at night aching with just this like, oh, I am not living up to who I'm meant to be. I don't know if we ever achieve that feeling of like, yes, this is exactly who I'm meant to be. I think it's absolutely a journey. I know that a lot of you guys who watch my videos are also actors or aspiring artists or artists in other ways, and so I'm sure a lot of you can relate to like, you just have so many dreams and visions. Sometimes it's like, where do I even start? It feels so good to be making this video because this, like I said, is uncomfortable and I am sitting in the discomfort. If I was an outsider to myself, who would I want to see in this world as a friend? Who would I want to see as a role model? Who would I want to just see as a YouTube channel or whatever? And then I want to be that, you know? I guess the whole point of all of this ramble is that it's not comfortable, yet our perspective of others' lives who are making an impact, we are so appreciative of what they're doing. We assume that they just feel so great because they must know the impact they're making, yet they sit in so much discomfort because they're sharing so vulnerably, and it's, I don't know, it's wild to think about. Another thing I want to talk about is how you literally have to start somewhere. I have this quote on my wall I'm looking at right now. It says, "Today's the best day I've ever seen to go after everything you want in life." I put it up there on my wall, so when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is see it. I feel like sometimes we're waiting for the clouds to part and a bird to just, you know, land on our shoulders and say, today's the perfect day to achieve your dreams. Like, no, that's just not how it works. I think so much of just life and following your dreams and whatever is accepting that where you are today is not only enough, because I actually don't like that saying, but it's so more than enough. You just have to start where you're at. Tomorrow, you're not gonna be any further along. You're just gonna have one less day that you possibly could have done the thing. And when people say you're enough, that doesn't sit right with me, because I'm like, what even is enough? Like, you're more than enough. Every human being is so equipped with everything that you need It's just about unburdening yourself and getting out of your own way. People that you see in the news achieving these great things, or people that you feel really inspired by, or people you see on social media, or people you see on TV, we're all human beings. I've had a few experiences over the past few months where I have been in rooms with people that I really admire. And I am someone who idolizes people. I am someone who absolutely puts people on pedestals. I feel like I even idolize people more than I did before, and it's because I have such deep respect and admiration for people who are on this journey of living their dreams and are making it happen and are doing this work. Every time I'm in a room with someone that I am a fan of, it brings me back to this thought that I love so much, and it's that we are all human beings. And I think some people say, oh, they're just a person. You see someone famous or someone who's done something on the street and you're like, oh, they're just a person. But the way that I see it is, oh my God, being a human is so incredible. We are all humans and we all have the ability to do anything. It's such a beautiful reminder when you're standing next to, in person, someone who really inspires you, because sometimes when it's through a screen, they feel kind of not human in a way because they've impacted you so greatly. But then when you're standing next to them, you're like, oh my God, they're human, I'm a human, I can do it too. This next thing I'm gonna talk about is so layered and deep and rich and nuanced. For so long, I mean for my whole life, whenever anyone asks like, what's your goal in life? It's to be happy. I want to be happy at the end of the day. I've been thinking about this a lot this past year of what it means to be happy when you are someone who is chasing your dreams. And I believe that we are all chasing the life that we want, even if your profession or if your job isn't necessarily your dream job and you're not necessarily chasing your dreams. We all strive for goals. I want to be happy, and I don't want to be happy one day. I want to be happy now. I want to live a happy life. I want to be, of course I'm a human being and I'm gonna feel all emotion, but I want my constant state to be happiness. And what does that mean when you are following your dreams and you want your current life to look so different than what it looks like? We think that when we have what we want, whether that's an acting job, whether that's going to a school that we want, or a relationship, or literally anything that it is, we think I am working towards this goal and then I will be happy. And what I found in my life is that, and this is in Ask and It Is Given too, as soon as you get there not only disappears, but it changes. So you're never going to, at least I don't think I will ever get to a place where I'll wake up one day and I'm like, I have everything that I strive for and I'm exactly who I want to be and now I can just live happy. I don't think I would want that, but I don't think I'll ever achieve that because I can't fathom not having things that I'm striving for. I have things now that are beyond my wildest dreams, and the second that I got, it's not even about gratitude because I'm so grateful. It's about when you see to believe that something is possible, it only opens up so many more doors. You're like, oh my God, if this is possible, then I can do this. There's no end point. There's no I've done it. And maybe, I don't know, maybe some people feel that way, but I just can't fathom ever feeling like I've checked all the boxes that need to be checked. If every time you reach a new goal achieved, you only have bigger goals, when will you be happy, and what are you waiting for to allow yourself to be happy now? That has been a very heavy thought and something that has really, really helped me because I catch myself all the time sitting in blessings, sitting in manifestations that have come true, but because I don't have this dominant goal that I'm working towards, I don't allow myself to fully soak in the joy. And I think something that's really, really important is to remember that this is the journey. I wrote this actually after an event that I went to a few months ago. They say stop and smell the roses. On this journey, what I'm learning is that, no, don't stop and just smell the roses. Literally stop and inhale the roses. Because if you don't, blessings are going to pass by you so quickly and you're always gonna be running and running and running, and you're gonna sprain your ankle and get shin splints and be like, oh my God, the finish line is so far, but there is no finish line, and you're just gonna tire yourself out. I don't want to live that life. I want to live a life of joy and art and ambition and drive and all of these things, sometimes when I'm just so busy or my brain's moving so fast, I will sit myself down and literally say to myself, write out all of your blessings this week. Read it back to yourself and just take a minute. And that feels so juvenile, it feels so whatever, but sometimes you really have to do that. I literally did this a bit ago, and then I read back some of the blessings and I was like, these are things that I've been working towards my entire life. Things that I didn't even take a minute to let myself feel good about, that I've been working towards this and dreaming of this, and now I have it, but I have all the other bigger goals that I am trying to run towards. I don't want to chase my dreams, I want to live my dreams. I want to live in that state of joy. I am so inspired, I am so ambitious, I'm so driven, I'm so excited. I want so badly to do all these things, and sometimes that just leads to overload of these emotions, and I get so frustrated with where I am in certain places of my life, but I just have to really pause, zoom out, take a second, force myself to reflect, and force myself to let myself enjoy it. I want to read to you guys a few things that I have written. Sometimes when I'm doing this free writing, I just, write something and I read it back and I'm like, wow, that's pretty poetic and really just encompasses how I'm feeling. And so basically in The Artist's Way work, Julia Cameron, the author, describes limitations on yourself as blocks. It's comical now, but because I did a lot of, well, I've always been a very reflective, I've been journaling since 7th grade, like I've always been a deep thinker, and I went through just a lot kind of last year, and I feel like I was removing a lot of blocks. And so when I started this course, I think in January of this year, I truly, again, I laugh at it now, but I truly thought to myself, I don't have any blocks, like I'm good. Yeah, I was wrong. I have a binder full of blocks. Anyway, I sometimes get very frustrated with myself because I'll be going about my day, about my life, and I'll recognize a block, whether that's realizing how much I do care about what people think about me when I thought I didn't, or recognizing ways in which I limit myself, or ideas and concepts in my head that are just flat out wrong that I need to rewire, or whatever the block is. When I recognize the block, it's both exciting because then you can remove it, but it's also sometimes frustrating that you realize that you have this block to begin with. And I try to give myself grace through the whole process, which I'm not gonna lie, I hardly do, but I'm really working on that. But sometimes when I identify a block, actually for the beginning, when I was starting to find these blocks in my life and in my mindset, I would picture it as these blocks were rocks that were like sitting on my soul. When I acknowledged it and I realized like, oh my gosh, there's a block, I would just, this is how I pictured it. I would come in on my little crane, lift up the rock, and just move it out of sight, and then I was fine. And I was like, okay, oh my gosh. But then there were some blocks where I really was having a hard time removing, and it kept coming up, and I was like, oh my god, what is wrong with me? I am realizing the issue here. I'm realizing this limitation that I have on myself. Why isn't it disintegrating? And so I wrote this. As soon as I identify a block, I want to release it immediately. What I'm learning is that it's not always that simple. I picture it as a crane coming into my soul, lifting up a rock and moving it out of sight. I love that imagery. What I'm realizing is that some of these blocks are more like seeds that have been planted in me at a very young age and have grown into weeds in my soul that are tangled up with my truth. If you want to fully remove the weed, you can't just trim off the top. You have to uproot the plant. When I wrote it, I was like, oh, I feel so much better. That's exactly how I feel. Some of these blocks are not just thoughts that I can just delete a little bit. Some of these blocks are perspectives that I've had for a really long time. And it's funny, yesterday I was doing a voice memo, brain dump, and writing and whatnot. Oh my gosh, I connected some dots, and I realized this huge flawed way of thinking that I have been accustomed to for so long. And it's really thanks to Ask and It Is Given that I've been so aware of certain thoughts. But this block, I don't even feel is a weed or is a rock. It's literally like a metal wired block in my brain that I feel like I have to come in with a hardware appliance and rewire my thinking. And this is such a journey. This is a journey of life. This is not a journey of just being an actor or being an artist or being a creative person anyway. This is life. This is discovering ways in which you can better yourself, which will in turn better the world. I just believe so deeply that whatever is pulling on your heart, whatever you feel so passionately about, is the biggest way that you are able to make an impact. The world is such a better place when you step into your authenticity. And so if you are an aspiring actor and you just feel so frustrated with the industry because it's wild, just remember that none of it is a mistake and that you have these dreams and desires for a reason. You are so needed. Your voice is so needed. I also wrote something just about life that I want to share. I think I'm chasing the idea of a lifestyle that doesn't exist. This concept of perfection. It's only hurting my ability to be present and love my life. I know I'm not a lazy human. I'm deeply passionate, determined, and active towards my dreams. When I don't effortlessly get everything done on my to-do list, that should not lead to me beating myself up. I'm always going to have goals and things I'm striving for. Life is a constant journey of getting comfortable and thinking you have it all figured out, and then something comes in that swipes the rug right out from under your feet. And that's the joy. That's the beauty of it all. It's an exhilarating, beautiful, exhausting, thrilling roller coaster. And you get to decide whether you grip onto your seat with your eyes closed, or throw your hands up, let your hair blow in the wind, and enjoy the ride. On that note, those are all of the thoughts that I'm going to share for this video. I have no idea how long this is going to be, but before I end this video, I wanted to share a few life updates. These are things that I have talked about in vlogs that I totally did not address how they have ended. The first one is college. I did show in a video a few months ago that I was doing my homework because I was doing some general ed at a community college. And basically, a long story short, I am not continuing with college. College, I always knew deep down, was not something that I saw for myself. I just knew that it was not right for me. And I think what's so incredible about college is that it's always there. And we feel like when you're a junior or a senior in high school that you have to make this decision and it's going to determine everything for your life. And if you don't go to college, it'll mean something. Or if you do and it's the wrong, like it's just, I want to live in what I need and what feels right to me now, because that's the only way that I can truly follow my gut. And then if tomorrow I wake up and I'm like, you know what, I really want to go to college, then it's really there for anyone at whatever age you're at. That's kind of where I'm at. I am not in school and I am pursuing my dreams at full force. Another update is the internship that I talked about in a recent Week in My Life video. I was doing an internship at a talent agency and I'm not doing that anymore. It's a pretty short story. They were absolutely incredible. They were so wonderful and it was really, really cool. It just wasn't a fit in my schedule and it just wasn't gonna work out long term. And so, you know, we just had to make the decision to not continue. I feel like we have this, it's kind of the same thing about college. It's like, oh my gosh, you make these decisions and it's like life or death, when it's really not. And I would so much rather try things and start things and not finish them than not try at all. And of course it doesn't mean make a commitment, because you can just break it. Like, of course it's not that. You know, with the internship, I was so excited about that. And it was really, really an eye-opening experience. And everyone there was so nice. I have nothing but wonderful things to say. It literally just wasn't a right fit in my life right now and in my schedule. With that being said, that is all that I am going to include for this video. I am so excited for this new series. I know I've said that 10,000 times, but I really just feel so passionately about this. It makes me so uncomfortable in the best way to be stepping into this more authentic version of myself. So make sure to subscribe. I will still be posting vlogs. I have a lot coming up this month that I'm very excited to share. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day and I will see you in my next video. Bye.